Hey, I'm back with another update. So my kidney journey has brought me to my evaluation for kidney transplant that happened on September 9th. And I met with a bunch of different types of doctors, the whole team in one day. So it was a full day of evaluations and appointments. Um, and yeah, overall, I was unofficially designated as an excellent candidate, which was great news. But I'll officially hear about whether or not I'm approved or not for the list, to get on the list. But I just kind of wanted to share what that evaluation was like. For me, I got evaluated at OHSU, which is a really great kidney transplant um, center, and they've been like long for a known time to do kidney transplants. So I just felt really confident. The appointment started right on time and everything ended right on time. They gave me a packet of paperwork to fill out and just things to be prepared for, including a map and just I mean, they definitely have done this a few times, so I felt like everything was very organized and had to watch a couple of videos with my support person and my mom and my husband watched those videos. And they had to sign, or Justin had to sign, my support person, and then I also had to sign and say that I've read it. There's a lot of other things too. The videos were really informational. It was just like on their website, and yeah, so that was all like before the evaluation that I had to do. And it came up really quick. Like time kind of flew by, and then all of a sudden, here we are on evaluation day. I was able to get my kid in school for the whole day. So that was good that I, didn't have to worry about rejiggering my schedule or anything. Um, yeah, so it started off with a echocardiogram, and so they measured, just different elements of my heart, and I don't know the results of any of these tests until I guess they're gonna tell me in a week or two when I get the results back about being approved or not. But that went fine, I guess. And then I went to, I'm trying to think, I think it was the nutrition doctor next, or the dietitian. And that's when she was, I actually got this reaction from a couple of doctors where they're like, oh, great, this is going to be so easy. Like, I think it's like they were relieved that I wasn't on that much medication and I was young. And so it's like, okay, we don't have to worry about like all these other things. I did have quite a few questions for my dietitian, just like, because my original nephrologist gave me a sheet of things that I couldn't eat and couldn't, so it just felt really restrictive, I guess. And so, speaking to this dietitian, she was like, "Oh no, you don't have to like never eat potatoes again. Like you don't have to never eat tomatoes with your salad." So it was just good to hear that, like, hey, I don't have to just cut out like over half of what I normally eat. It's just about like reducing and limiting myself on some things. So that made me feel good. And they said that, she said that she was gonna make a note to try to get a living donor. And so that felt really great to hear. And at that time, I told her that my EGFR, which is the kidney function read, was at 20. And, I think it's like 20 or less to qualify for a transplant. So she's like, oh, yeah, that's okay. Like, you still had a 19 before, so it's still like qualifying. And I didn't think of it at this point, but I was just thinking the other day, I was like, how long can I have a qualifying number before it takes me off the list? Anyway, just questions like that kind of come up after all these discussions because these experts have, they've been through this so many times that they give so much information. You think, okay, I must know everything. That's what it felt like in my social work meeting, which was the next meeting after my dietitian. And that meeting was probably like the most informational, and it was also kind of the most difficult one because just you have to think about planning for things. What if you have a complication, or like a heart thing, happen after the, transplant? What if you get diabetes? Not because, you didn't eat right, but because all the medication, and then, you're more at risk for cancer. And so there's just things like that that's like, okay, great, like I'm qualified for a transplant, but like all these other things become like more of a potential to happen down the road. And she also said that because I'm so young, I might have to have 2 or 3 kidney transplants. And, um, and that makes sense. But it's just like, man, like the journey is just, I guess it's just like, the journey is not going to just be over once I get a kidney. So it was a lot. And, she did kind of mention this is something that Justin, my husband, he was there at that appointment with me, and he said it stood out to him whenever she was like, so why do you want a kidney, like when you choose to get a kidney, like, and so basically it kind of reaffirmed this idea that, you know, no one is forcing me to get a kidney. Like, even though it seems like, okay, I'm in this system now, it's still my choice or not. And, obviously I would do that over dialysis. So my goal is to get on the list at least. Um, yeah. And so after that, I had a bunch of lab works. They drew like 20 different vials of blood and a urine test. And after that, it was like a bladder test and or bladder imaging, ultrasound, and then a pelvic X-ray. And I think that was my last one. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Oh yeah, the last one was like the nephrologist and I guess one of the other doctors, maybe the lead nephrologist. I forgot. Sorry, but yeah, and the pharmaceutical pharmacist, and he was like kind of said the same thing that the dietitian said, like, wow, I'm so glad you're not on any medication and you don't do drugs and all the things that maybe they see kind of often. So yeah, it was just good to hear that, like, hey, you are an excellent candidate. And also, the doctor told me that they're ideally going to try to find someone that's like 5 years older than me, because I told him about a potential donor that I had in mind. And, he mentioned that, like, even if they can't take the kidney from the person, they can still do like a swap with someone else that does fit me, and I can still kind of get in there earlier. And so that felt good. So overall, it went really well, and it didn't. I thought it was going to be, at first, I thought it was going to be like a lot more tests, like colonoscopy and stuff like that. But because I'm so young, like they don't need to do that. They're also talking about maybe not doing a mammogram. There's like a vaccine, a pneumonia vaccine I need to get. They don't require COVID or flu, which is good because I'm not going to take the COVID shot. And I know there's a lot of, you know, different views about that, and we all hashed that out back in 2020, so I'd rather not go into that. But let me just say I'm going to be on the control side of the experiment. Anyway, so that's just my view on that. But overall, yeah, it went great, and so I'm just waiting now. But yeah, it's made me just think about a lot about, what are we gonna do? Because we're thinking about moving, and so kind of like the goal is to get on the list here, and then I'll still be on the list whenever I transfer, and if we end up moving, and of course that opens a whole nother like conversation about insurance and all this other stuff, but. I mean, the good thing is that I have the knowledge now. I have the medicine. You know, I can get referrals. I'll have my insurance for like another month if I do end up quitting or getting fired. Not getting fired, but if I end up quitting, or they can't work with me remote, even though I work mostly remote now. But I don't want to go too much into it because those plans aren't really set in stone, but it's just something to consider, because I'll be in another division of the country that, works with kidneys in that division. So I think from what I've heard, it's just about really communicating with your transplant team. So yeah, I just wanted to give you that update. I still sort of get every now and then a little like, oh my gosh, is it... like I feel a little, I guess I think about my mortality a little bit more, every now and then, but for the most part, it's not like I'm having to do dialysis. It's not like it's just like such a struggle right now. So I'm really fortunate that, God is kind of shielding me, like I've said before, from all that stuff. Um, but anyway, just wanted to give you guys an update, and I'll keep you guys posted on the approval or not when it comes in a couple weeks. Right? Bye.